Pounders, welcome back. Today we're going to be drafting another big board team, and the room has already filled. And guess what? We're on the front half of the board, boys. We are at pick 3. Let's see if anyone else snuck in here with us. Oh, let's go. Steph here at 9. Probably using that free giveaway to get into the channel on Discord, the little secret stream sniper channel, which you guys can also get with a YouTube membership. Looks like Steph is the only one, and she's far away enough that she shouldn't impact us too much. Glad to see it. Steph, welcome to the live stream. Today's an early one. Might be pulling up Bijan. Let me see what my exposure is to Chase. I don't need to do this because I'm in a good spot with my Bijan exposure. We were jamming him at pick 6 and 7 earlier this year. Let's see what we're at Chase. Yeah, we're gonna have to switch it to Chase, I think. 8%. What are we at Bijan? I think it's like 11 or 12. That's only 10. I want to be a little heavier on Bijan. Let's do it. Pull up Kyron Beekert going big brain stuff right now. We're not. I don't even think my brain can compute that right now. If we bring in Kyron, you can. I don't know if I love it though. I don't know if I love it. It is a different combo, but you're reaching outside of tiers. So I think your team gets weaker when you do that. I don't mind getting different combinations of players in the same tiers where it's not going to affect your advance rates. But yeah, Kyron would basically he would have to repeat this at a minimum. So Frank, welcome to the live stream. We're going to be our final edition of the Big Board Draft Guide is coming soon. So link is in the description for that. If you're interested, it's 18 rounds of rankings based on the player's ADP right now. So getting that updated it'll be nice. Just basically based on value, where their ADP is right now. And then along with that comes the CSV rankings, which helps put it all together. Yeah, JJ at 7 is so nice. Not going to lie. JJ at 7 is so nice. Nico Collins gets dragged up to the 1 spot here, or the 11 spot, excuse me. But it's not that. Like, I don't think he's going to get a different combo because he was typically going at like 14, 15 to start the year. So I'm curious what he does with pick 14. He's on the clock. Drake London, like, I don't know. It's gonna be difficult to get different. He just clearly wants Nico over AJ Brown, that's a tough sell for me. Super tough. I also think there's a chance that Houston brings in another receiver, drafts another receiver after they re-sign Noah Brown, which would likely hurt both Tank and Nico, but I'm okay with risking it more on Tank's ADP. And that's sort of the way we've been operating since the contest opened. When Tank was at like 44, we always preferred the Tank price, especially because their splits are so similar. Let's see. If you guys are just joining us, go down, slap the like on the live stream, hit the subscribe button. We have 16 big boards left. So we're going to have some double streams coming up, some double drafts, I should say. So hit the subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, jump in some of these drafts with us. Steph started with Amon-Ra and Kyron. See, I like Kyron back here. When you can get him at 16, when you can get him after Barkley's off, I love this. Yeah, I think the hate's gone a little too far on Kyron. I think the hate's gone a little too far on some of these running backs. I'll go Achan 22. Achan, we have ranked at pick 21 or 22 on the CSV. And even then, like we have Devontae Adams ahead. So we have some of these receivers flip-flopped in different places. Yeah, we're probably just going to be boring here. It's Devontae Adams. Boring. Boring pick. Basically falls right at ADP. I wonder. Nah, Rice isn't going to fall to 46. I want to get a Rice sliding team. How far have you guys seen Rice go? What's the latest you've seen him go? Debo. I mean, I probably have Waddle in front of everyone here. Mike Evans. Let's go, Debo. Debo's a sneaky CMC leverage pick too, because you can steal those the goal line tutties on sweep plays and shit. So Debo's a sneaky CMC leverage play. Ooh, breaking news. 2 minutes ago, the Chiefs have agreed to terms with their former first-round pick, CEH, on a 1-year deal. That is very good news for Pacheco. That is very good news for Pacheco. If the Chiefs don't touch it running back, I mean, I guess you run the same risk for like Rashad White, for James Cook. This group of running backs, their value can be hurt if they find someone substantial. Now, for James Cook and White, I think they're safer because of the amount of work they're getting from the backfield. But I think that's good for Pacheco, to be honest. Job security. Steph agrees. Pat's fading seat. Tyler, yeah, Tyreek a little bit, I guess. A little bit. Dude, Daryl saw Rice go at 52. Oh, please. Please give me some Rice at 46. Please, please, please. Cam says, hit that button, you pounders. Yeah, slap the like. Appreciate you guys. Laporte at 33. So nothing out of this world just yet. I like this little Detroit double. Last time I did that, Goff got sniped for me, and the guy didn't have J-Mo. He didn't have Gibbs. There was 4 QBs on the board before ADP on Goff. So I'm still recovering from that. I'm still very much recovering from that memory. We should, with one of these last 16, try to get that double again. I'm cool with Tyreek Hill. I mean, I want to have around 6%, but I'd rather be heavier on the wide receivers like Chase in that range. And again, the Chase bet is on Burrow's health, so it's not like foolproof. And that's sort of why I have Bijan ranked up here. I've Chase at 3, Bijan at 4. And then I have Tyreek at 5. So it's not like it's a super heavy fade, but Rice goes at 36. Damn. I still like that. Adam says, I feel like people are overthinking with Tyreek. And he has the single game upside to blow up a slate. So it's really hard to completely fade Tyreek. But you are seeing concerns with the hammy. You're seeing him leave the field almost every game. You're seeing the snap count go down every year. It's a long season. If this team's in the playoffs, what do they do towards the back end of the year if they're already set? I don't know. There's a lot of things going on there, and I'm leveraging it with pushing Waddle up a little bit. We've been high on Waddle since contest open. We got a full, like, 16 picks of value on Waddle. He might be in my top 3 too. So it's not like we're not leveraging the other side of that take too. Steph brings in Cooper Kupp, gets the Rams double to go with the Detroit double. Give us Lamar here. Lamar just feels so good in this range. One away. One away and your dreams can come true. Oh, yeah. Adam, no doubt. Like, he's breaking slates and he's playing 70% of snaps. Man, he brings in Lamar. Who's my lowest owned of these RBs? It's actually Rashad White. Let's bring in White here. Let's bring in White. I might just double tap RB here, grab my 3, and then don't pick a running back until like round 14 plus. See if we can survive the wide receiver avalanche. We'll have to come back at QB and tight end, but we can try something different here. If it was going to be a receiver, I think it was Kirk. Yeah, Kirk. Kirk would have been it. Amari, Rome, and then I think I have Zay Flowers even behind Terry McLaurin. See if we can survive the avalanche. He brings in Kincaid to pair with Josh Allen. What's that? A 17 pick reach. He probably doesn't come back, so I don't know if I absolutely hate it, but he can correlate James Cook too. The reach kind of seems unnecessary because they do come back to every now and then. But if you're only doing a few drafts, go get your guys, correlate your squads. I'm manifesting a Tyree 2000. He can do it. He just has to stay healthy. He has to stay on the field. Yeah, exactly. I also like the John and Click still at ADP. And it's funny, we had this conversation in Discord of like, okay, why are people underweight on Jonnu at pick 175? Who do you have that goes after him that you think will finish in front of him? And then do you think he'll finish higher than tight end 22? Not a lot. No one wanted to take the bet that he won't. Because sure, and I'm under the belief that they went out, they seeked out Jonnu Smith. Back when Gesicki was in Miami too, in his final year, he was starting to split time with Smythe. So you saw a lot of games around 50% snaps. So that's why I think the tight end usage was a little low. I just feel like Jonnu is just going to be a McDaniels guy. And all I really care about in this range is single game ceiling. And we've seen Jonnu Smith break tutties. Even last year, he broke for a 60-yard tutty. All right, let's put this up just a moment. The wifey is calling, and when she calls, you answer. You answer, fellas. See, that's all it takes. That's all it takes. Steph says, smart man. You got to know. You got to know. Little Trey McBride, Kyle Pitts, double elite for Steph too. We don't love to see this, especially because we go RB here. We're not we're not really in a position to bring in anything but receivers with 70 and 75. So we're looking at potentially going tight end at 94, which is the Jake Fergie range. We'll see if the draft room adjusts. Let's see if the draft room adjusts. We'll double RB click on the back end here. K-Walk and Joe Mixon. This guy's got his 3 strong RBs as well. Aaron Jones and Barkley. 7 spot is scooping, Adam says. JJ, Ayuk, Neighbors, ETN, James Cook. Yeah, what's that? Like a 9 spot after ADP click with James Cook. ETN at 42s. ETN's getting way too much hate. Way too much hate. Terry at 64 for Steph. Oh my. Yes, please. Give us 2 of these guys. I hate Deontay's ADP, not gonna lie. I would rather just bring in Evan Ingram and just figure it out. It would be a 10 or 11 wide receiver team. I don't like the hyper fragiles too with just 4 running backs. I don't think it makes a lot of sense in 20 round drafts. If there's anyone that breaks the year based on ADP, you're gonna want at least one of those guys as a 5th running back in those later ranges. Okay. I think this makes a lot of sense. We are gonna go Brian Thomas here. We really want Godwin to come back to us. I'm mostly worried about big old kitties doing something like that to us. We might have to bring in Dusty Hopkins. I don't understand why Hopkins ADP doesn't move with the Ridley news. Anyone else just feel that's off? Oh, just 1 click away, boys. Okay, we actually get Godwin here. We survived the avalanche. We were buried. We had 1 flare left. Someone saw it, and they gave us a care package. They actually let us get Godwin a few picks after ADP. Back-to-back receivers after ADP. That feels good. Feels good. Team needed a little slide there. But yeah, I do have Bowers. I have Ingram ranked above this group of receivers. I have some of these running backs pushed up, and some of them very much pushed down. And Kyler I have up in this range too. Ben May, welcome to the live stream, man. Steph says you got lucky on those receivers. Yeah, that feels good. But you also got a 6-pick slide on Terry after going double elite tight end. So you are also faring well back here in the 9 spot. Terry at 64. The disrespect. The disrespect. Man. Terry feels like a pretty good click this year. I'm not going to lie. It's not like it's not the sexiest click. I think he either outpaces ADP or he lands near it. I think it's relatively safe, especially Curtis Samuel out of town. Dotson didn't really pull the same targets last year. So let's see if they touch it wide receiver in the draft. But still, we expect Terry to be the clear number 1 this offense, potentially with an upgraded QB. So Terry feels safe. And especially look who goes after Terry. I mean, Steph gets him 6 picks after ADP, but yeah, Pat Joyce, QB upgrade, supposedly. you gotta add that in there, you gotta add that in there. I think you can make the bet that he's going to get an upgraded QB. And I think that's a smart thing to do. So maybe we do bring in a tight end back here. We're good at RB, even though I think some of these RBs will smash. Some of these RBs are just landmines. There's no way Bowers makes it back to us. Yeah, there we go. We put him in the queue just for shits and giggles, and he's gone. We can go Purdy back here to pair with Deebs. I don't know how I feel about that. We can't go RB, but maybe we go another receiver. We can bring up AD, Mike Willie. We're going to want a receiver with one of these 2 clicks. It's a matter of what do we do with the first one? We can touch at QB. Otherwise, I think we're gonna have trouble finding any correlation with our studs, at least. Like, sure, we can bring in what? Minshew. We can bring in Baker. I don't I'm already not loving the sounds of this 4 QB team. Just kidding. I have not built a 4 QB team this year. I think if you're gonna go for it, the 1 seed has to be tight end just because one can jump in the flex, but 4 QBs is rough. Definitely rough. Lowers the amount of combinations you can have for week 17. And obviously only one can start every week. We can go rushing QB upside like Jaden Daniels. You don't have to pair with anyone. We can go Dotson with May or Daniels with May. Dotson with Daniels. There it is. This is a chance that Washington goes Daniels. Pair some Drake May with the Patriots on the back end. It's kind of gross. And we're going to have to because the Ayuk team brings in Purdy, Ayuk and Kittle. Probably should have saw that coming. Pick 94 and 99. So this is going to be interesting, kind of correlate this squad on the back end. Baker's a clear target for us. We have 2 Tampa Bay pieces here. Adam says he likes Mike Williams a lot. And AD goes 1 click before. Yeah, basically, this opens up another QB for us too with Rodgers. I wonder, do we just bring in? This is going to be a 3 QB, 3 tight end team. I think we have to make Mayer one of our targets too to pair with Devontae Adams. So he should be one of those 3 tight ends. We can go Komet with Caleb Williams too. If we do that, we'd have to reach on Caleb right now, and that's sort of tough over Jalen Warren, but we're good at RB right now. I think we can skip this group of receivers. We could go Myers, bring in another Vegas piece, but I think the Caleb click here, and we're gonna cause someone max pain. Someone probably has like Keenan Allen, but we're not paying attention to that. Let's bring in Caleb as our QB1. Adam says, I think Daniels is 100% in Washington. And yeah, I've been trying to mix him in with those Washington stacks too. I think that's a smart thing to do. It's like what happened last year. Everyone had Bryce Young going to Houston and Stroud going to Carolina. And then post draft, everyone's looking back at all their broken stack teams. You got to mix it in. If there's a possibility, you got to mix it in. Here's the wide receivers. And if I was going to go one of these guys, it probably would have looked like this. I'm good with this team so far. So far, we have Caleb Williams, Bijan, Rashad White, Pacheco, Devontae Adams, Deebo Samuel, Brian Thomas Jr., Chris Godwin, and Mike Williams. Then I need 2 more QBs. So one is going to be Mayfield at 151. We can go Rodgers at 142. So that would be right here on ADP is where we could potentially double click QB. And then the Garrett Wilson team's far to our right. At pick 8, he already has Mahomes. So if he wants Rodgers, he'll go Rodgers at 137. We shouldn't really have to worry about anyone else. I don't mind Franklin now that he's back at his starting ADP, but when he rose up to like pick 100, like I like him back here, but I'm not going Franklin over Myers or Josh Downs. It's really going to depend on who sneaks in on the back end of the first round. Some of those landing spots are absolutely juicy. And then who ends up going to a team in the early second round? Some of those landing spots, not as good. So we'll see what the NFL teams do for preference. But I believe I'm ahead of the field on Troy Franklin. No, I'm at 8% exact. So I've been mixing them in on cue. I think part of the reason I started picking it up now is because Worthy and Ladd don't go at pick 145 anymore. And even then, I'm still drafting a lot of Ladd at 122. Goff off the board at 112. Steph gets the double. Steph gets the double stack secured. Really nice. Really nice. Now give us Josh Downs. Not asking for a lot, just asking for a 10 pick slide on Josh Downs. Is it a triple? Oh, you brought in JMO too at 105. Very aggressive. Very aggressive. Troy Franklin off the board. We can touch it tight end in this spot too. Kirk Cousins with Bijan and then bring in someone like Mooney could be another option. I definitely want one of these tight ends though. I guess we could reach up for Komet too to pair with Caleb. That'll probably be pick 123. So maybe now that Schultz is off the board, we plan for that. And then if we do this, if we do bring in Kirk, we can go Baker and Mooney at 142 and 147. Let's make sure the London team isn't to our right. I think we can safely push Kirk. Okay, Brooks off the board. We are going to side on correlation here with Komet. Let's try to build this out. T-Law off the board. I know Adam's staring at Ladd right now. Says, I got the whole Discord with 15% Ladd. Yeah, there's a lot is riding on Ladd, but also Adam. Ladd's just staring us in the face. Okay, if we do go Ladd instead, we're targeting Rodgers and Baker Mayfield on the back end. I'm cool with that. Let's bring in Ladd here. Again, we're leaning on these 3 RBs that we picked early. I think that's what you have to do in this situation. We have a few QBs in between Rodgers and Mayfield as well. And let's say we miss out on Rodgers because it's highly possible the Garrett Wilson team brings in Rodgers. On the back end, we can get some pretty gross stacks. Maybe we go like Drake May and Baker. We bring in like Hunter Henry, Demario Douglas, Antonio Gibson. Daniel Jones is just a super late QB. I don't even think you really have to pair him with anyone. If there's someone like Wandale and Darren Waller potentially on a team like this where maybe he ends up being worth the click if he doesn't retire. Where's he going now? My question is, yeah, sure, there's the whole retiring thing, right? Is anyone mixing in Danny Bellinger if Waller retires? And the field is so confident that he's either retiring or he's just dust because the dude gets hurt every year, which there's also that element to it. Might be worth it as maybe not on this team, but on a team where we have a stronger tight end 1 starting. It might be worth it to add Danny Bellinger at the very end. Just with those Jones stacks. Where we have Kmet, I need my second tight end to be a little stronger. And I guess we could also go Gardner Minshew too. So I'm glad we actually skipped on Kirk. Even though Kirk with Caleb feels like it's just, feels like you're getting a little security with a decent floor with Kirk if he comes out the gate relatively healthy. But got it. So you're typically going Downs over JMO. That's what I figured. I'm not going to be high on JMO this year. Just not. Part of it's Goff, part of it's JMO. Just the offense. So many targets to fight for and compete with. Amon-Ra, Laporter, Gibbs. Yeah, we just added an ER after Laporter. Turn him into a beer. Zach Charbonnet off the board. Quentin Johnson at 133. Some of the coach talk came out saying that he's going to take the jump this year. I don't know. The signs weren't. It wasn't pretty, but the actions of the team do match what the coach is saying, though. He's going to have to take a jump no matter what. May off the board at 136. Steph has May going to Washington potentially here, at least in this narrative. Rodgers also opens up Conklin on the back end. We run the risk that they draft Bowers. But in the case that they don't, pick 192 is pretty good for Rodgers tight end. He'll end up being a pretty good value, I think. We're caught up at receiver. We bring in Kmet at tight end. I am hoping for what? Baker and Mayer. Will Mayer make it back to us at 166? No chance, right? I'm going to have to reach up and get my guy, I think. So we bring in Baker, and then we can go. If we do this, does this just become a 4 tight end team? We have to go Baker first, I think, with that double stack. Godwin and White. It opens up Kate Otten, but I think Kate Otten goes too soon. Dawson's here. Ford's here, just being disrespected a little bit. I think these guys are pretty good clicks in this range right now. Not gonna be able to draft my boy Roman Wilson on this one. Man, times are tough. If we don't go Rodgers here, we're basically just putting off QB until Gardner Minshew or Jones. Are we okay with Caleb, Baker, and Gardner Minshew? It's just I struggle with that. I think we have to go Rodgers here. I know. Steph, so true. She goes, aren't you getting Roman? Yeah, he's up here in my ranks. He's up there in the ranks. I just can't afford to draft him right now based on the way we started this room with 2 receivers and 3 running backs. But I want to put myself in a different situation, build a different squad. So far, I think it's going fine. We are going to target Conklin on the back end and just make that bet that the Jets don't draft a tight end. Kate Otten goes off the board at 149. Right after I say he's potentially not a good value at ADP, this dude reaches up 13 picks. Just saying, screw that take. But he's behind at tight end too, so He might be going another tight end at 164. Mayor's not going to make it back to us. I'm praying he does, but realistically, probably doesn't make it past. No, Steph's got her 2 tight ends. Yeah, she's going Roman here. I still have Jahan Dotson ranked ahead of Roman, but I believe they're back to back. Have to check the ranks. Algier at 155. I don't mind that reach up over this group. I'm glad he's off the board for us though, because we can't go Algier with Bijan. Nice little double click here, Jahan Dotson and Michael Wilson for the 12 spot. He needed receivers desperately. AJ Brown, Gibbs, Rice, Hurts, and then he goes RB, RB, tight end, RB. So we see 4 straight receivers. Demario Douglas at 158. Kendra off the board. McLaughlin, Steph's probably highest drafted player, or at least running back, I believe. All right, we're 5 picks away. He's still on the board. I should have put him in the queue. That was bad luck. Why did we put him in the queue? Jake Ferguson, this dude can definitely bring in a tight end. Maybe. It wouldn't be out of the question. This guy's hungry for tight ends too, reaching up. If we don't get Mayer here, we probably end up going one of these 3 and then hope that Ricky comes back to us, and then we go into this tier of tight ends afterwards. So let's see. One guy away. Loopy Lopes. Don't do it. Ricky Pearsall going to Miami. He's going to have a great year. Let's go. Let's go. We get the slide on Mayer. Now, do we wish we didn't go Rodgers? Probably not. I'm good with it. Conklin at 192. So Conklin should fall to us basically at ADP. And we're going to get Rico after ADP? Stop. We don't even really need. Yeah, Rico's gone. I don't like Antonio Gibson in this situation with these RBs. Do we just reach up and get our guy? If not, it's probably one of these 3, which I don't think that's a huge deal to skip this tier for a correlated piece. We're going to reach up and get Conk here for the double with Mike Williams, Conk, and Rodgers. Nice little piece on the back end could be Israel Abanikanda as well. We skip this tier of receivers. I don't think it's a huge deal. So that reach up really doesn't mean a whole lot. He's either going to be a good value based on his ADP and he belongs in this range, or he's going to be a bad value because they draft Bowers. Some of the other rookies could probably hurt him too, but that same case goes for any of these guys. Yeah. That's at least we're on opposite sides of the board, Steph, where it could be managed. It can be managed. Yeah. Almost every click I'm on board with Steph's squad. JSN at 81. Like even that's a sweet spot for JSN right there. We caught up at tight end. We're stopping with this group. Komet, Mayer, and Conk. Obviously making the bet that Bowers doesn't go to the Jets. Our running backs are solid. I think we just go and get our guys now. Build this squad out. Rashawn Johnson, if he's somehow still there. I think Khalil Herbert even. These guys could be decent if one of them, and it would be Khalil Herbert, in my opinion, who they would move in the draft. If you get a trade for Khalil Herbert, like both of them probably go too late. They would both rise. But that is a lot that's a lot to ask. This range is so gross. Let's see. 7 picks away. Let's see if Steph brings in another QB with this squad. She brings in Herbert here at 184. Yeah, I would have liked one of those too. Tank Bigsby goes at 183. Go get your guys 31 picks before ADP. Steph said she wanted Geno with JSN. Yeah. Israel Abanaconda, man. Yo, is this like handcuff season right now? Is this handcuff season? So this is interesting because these are, some of the guys I click in the last round. So now knowing that they're not going to be there, we have to adjust to that. J.K. Dobbins meeting with KC. Maybe we bump him up a few spots, but I also I want one of these guys, basically. Polk's off the board. I want one of these guys with Burton. And I'm super low on Dobbins, but this is the team to bring him in. With Bijan, White, Pacheco. Obviously, we don't want him to land in KC where we have Pacheco, but a Dallas landing spot would be ideal. Okay, so he reaches up for Burton. Don't love that. We can bring in Javon Baker. We can go Corley too. 195. I would think the J.K. Dobbins thing's most likely off the board after they re-sign CEH. I know it's a 1-year deal, doesn't mean a lot, but I don't think they want to hold on to a bunch of dusty running backs. We can bring Corley in here. All right. Looking pretty balanced still. Let's see who comes back to us. We're done at tight end. Komet, Mayer, and Conklin. It's borderline. It's borderline. Let's see what we end up with on the back end. We have 3 picks left. We definitely need another receiver or 2, and we definitely need a running back. We're going to bring in a 5th guy here, definitely. And then probably 1 or 2 receivers. I think we could get away with 1 receiver if we plan on one of these guys hitting. But we definitely need at least 1 more receiver because we have some spike week guys that just disappear for 6 games out of the year. If we can lean into this group, which we have to, 1 more running back, 2 more receivers. We're leaning into these 3 running backs. Maybe you get some good weeks from J.K. Dobbins on the back end of the season where we can afford to hold him with this group. That's the thought process. I want 1 more running back in this range. If not, we're going to have to reach down a little bit. One more running back in this range. One receiver. or 2 receivers in this range. Obviously, I think all these guys are gonna be gone when it gets back to us at pick 238, especially with Steph clicking twice behind us. But knowing we're getting at least one of these feels good. Greg Dortch at 207, huh? The rise is real. Baker off the board. Honestly, if Boyd comes back to us, we're just gonna click Boyd. We're just gonna be boring. I think he actually can serve a pretty decent purpose on a team like this where we have 3 rookies. We have Mike Williams. Yeah. Ben and Charles are talking about Levis in the chat. They're giving him the weapons to find out if he's the dude fast. The thing is, are they gonna have anyone behind him to replace him with this year if he is not the guy? I think we do just go get Boyd here. We get Boyd 17 picks after ADP. I feel pretty confident with both of these teams having 6 running backs too, that we'll get one of these guys back. I'd prefer it to be Dillon or Gainwell, but let's see what comes back to us. Let's see what comes back to us. I think Tyler Boyd makes too much sense in a build like this. All right, we're guaranteed one of these guys. I don't really want to be Vidal, but give us boring AJ Dillon. Zeke was you saw his draft Zeke on the biggest board, $100 entry. I'm pretty sure we mentioned that he has the chance to just return to Dallas. It makes sense for a landing spot. And then the talk started. That would be the ideal landing spot for Zeke is back in Dallas. Pick 203 still. It's not guaranteed, but Zeke probably outscores Tank Bigsby this year. Zeke probably outscores Israel Banaconda this year if that happens. Not probably, he does. Steph says, "Why do you hate me?" Come on, I can't be sad over AJ Dillon. You can't be sad over AJ Dillon. You would be the first. You would be the first. All right, so far we have Caleb Williams, Baker Mayfield, Aaron Rodgers, Bijan, Rashad White, Isaiah Pacheco, J.K. Dobbins, A.J. Dillon. At receiver, Devontae Adams, Debo Samuel, Brian Thomas Jr., Chris Godwin, Mike Williams, Lab McConk, McCorley, Malachi Corley, I should say, Tyler Boyd with Komet, Mayer, and Conklin. Nothing screams absolutely sexy, but we have the correlation here. We have some correlation going on. The Mayer drop, 7 picks in ADP, was really clutch. It was really clutch. I wouldn't have really liked this team, I don't think, if Mayer didn't come back to us. And even then, I think it's just okay. But we put ourselves in a situation that we're not super comfortable in, where we're going 3 RBs in the first 5 rounds. And I think we do get lucky here with this build too, getting Brian Thomas Jr. after ADP, getting Godwin after ADP to even make this team look as good as it is. So I think it came out basically as good as it could have. I think we go 1 receiver on the back end. Steph brings in Hyatt here, which I like. Pairs it with Jones late. Johnny Wilson's a nice click in the last round now. Trey Palmer still there? This would be super ideal with Baker. This would be super ideal. Come on. This guy's probably clicking receiver, huh? Pierce off the board. Mr. Cardio himself, Alec Pierce, has entered the chat. Let's go. Okay. Okay. Things are looking on the way up. Drew is going to be he's going to be too excited about this team. The Tampa Bay triple with Godwin, Palmer, and Rashad White. That dude's going to find a way to hit the like button twice on this squad. Appreciate everyone coming out drafting with me today. If you guys enjoyed the stream, go down, slap the like, hit the subscribe button. We're gonna be doing another giveaway on the next stream, YouTube membership giveaway. Appreciate everyone hopping in, saying hello. Drop the pounders in the chat. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Pounders.